Howdy, folks. Down in the workshop. Here's what I've been doing is I run a board like this, which is 3 1/8. I cut it down on my table saw. And you see how it's got a ridge and then a groove, a ridge and a groove. And what I do, I make that groove by running it through the jointer and or the router table. A friend of mine, my story on this router table is our daughter and son-in-law were replacing countertops about 12 years ago. And so I took this, which is a countertop, and I was planning on making a router table. And so my son-in-law, he helped me route out. And underneath here, I have a big router. And there you can see it. That's the router. It's 3 horse. And then we made this fence and put these knobs on to adjust the fence. We put this track on, and what I did for this project is there's normally a hole that's that big, and I did not want that big of a hole. So what I did is I screwed like a 2x4 onto this and then screwed this into the fence. Now, one thing I used to have trouble with is boards when I'd run them through the ride up, maybe they were a little bit warped or something. So what I've done is I just put 2x4s here to hold my boards down. I don't do them tight because then I can't push them through. And this right here is, what the hell are they? I don't even know what they call it. Well, it's by Rockler. And I run my board through, and I have this so that it's tight, and it holds it then tight against the fence. And it just goes into the track like this. Let's see this blue track. And so I've done the last board I'm going to do today on this. So I'll give you an idea. It was all full of sawdust because I just ran a bunch of boards through it. But that's what it is. And these fit in here. You tighten them down and it expands this. So another thing that I've done with this is this is the cord for the router. And I plug it in here, and which is just a power strip. And then I have the on and off. Let me just show you. I always leave my router in the on position, but watch. So when I hit this little reset button, it'll turn my router on. One thing I always have to remember is to keep my fingers away from there. But that router table, I've used it for a lot of things. I'll use it to build all these floor registers. So I've been working on this since like Friday. And it's really been a trial and error thing. And what I want to be able to do is get something that looks about like this. This is one I purchased. And it drops into those floor register frames that I built. And there's 16 fins on a 12-inch. And so I've cut all of these fins. And what I do is take a board that I've cut to width and size. And when I'm doing the cut, for instance here, on all of these, I wanted I think it's a quarter inch. And so what I did is you see I have this board here. What I do is I set this to 1 1/16 because this is 3/4 1/16. And what that will give me is a 1/4 inch cut on this side of the blade. Today I cut 244 pieces between yesterday and today. Today I got a little smarter. I cut some of these, I cut this down a bit so that when these pieces go in to my floor register, they'll fit pretty snug, and then what I'll do is I'll cut or sand the rest of them. Now here's the middle piece, and that'll fit in just like that, and of course it'll get glued, but you see that's nice and flush there. And so this is the same board as this, but this board was 3/4 inch thick. This one I determined I had to get down to 5/8. This board is still 3/4. I just got done running it through my router to give me that nice edge. The next thing I'll do, because what I would have to do now is just cut these center pieces, this center piece for the 14, 12 inch frames. I want to get that cut today so that I'm essentially ready in the winter to get these assembled. So that's it. I'll route this, shut up, down to 5/8, and then I'll come over here and we'll set this at 2 3/4, and that will then give us a cut that'll give us this on top and this on the bottom. So that's what I'm doing as far as building these registers, actually just getting ready. Thanks for following the progress.